Hello everybody, Maven here, and welcome back to another Destiny 2 video. Today I wanted to talk about the Parasite and the fact that nobody is talking about the Parasite right now. This thing is pretty wild with Solar 3.0, and during this video I will explain why. So we all know that the ad clear capabilities of Solar 3.0 is pretty wild, and if you can get yourself a Drang or a Callus mini tool with the incandescent perk, you're just setting the whole world on fire. And what better weapon to pair with heavy ad clear than the Parasite? If you've been living under a rock and haven't seen this thing and don't know what it does, basically if you get 20 ad kills with your other weapons and swap to this thing, you'll have a 20x Worm's Hunger buff, and that is going to turn this thing into an absolute nuke. But what makes this thing extra crazy right now is the fact that on Solar 3.0, we can become Radiant, which gives us a 25% damage buff. And it is extremely easy to proc Radiant. All you have to do is dodge on Hunter or throw your knife because there's Ember of Torches. Your powered melee attacks, you don't even have to get a kill, just attack. That is going to make you Radiant. This doesn't only work on Hunter, it works on all three characters, but it's definitely the easiest to proc on Hunter. And that easily attainable 25% buff is going to turn the Parasite into even more of a nuke than it already is. Even more so if you throw on Font of Might. So when you get a Solar Elemental Well, that's going to give you a 25% damage buff to your solar weapons for 10 seconds, and that stacks on top of the Radiant, turning it into a 50% damage buff. I don't even know, nuke isn't even the right word for that anymore. I don't even know what you'd call it. And it's really easy to get a Solar Elemental Well. You can just use Elemental Ordnance, so you get a grenade kill and that'll spawn a Solar Elemental Well, or you can just get a throwing knife kill because we got melee well maker. And the thing about that is that when we get that well off of the knife kill, that is also going to proc our Ember of Torches and make us Radiant, immediately giving us that entire 50% damage buff to absolutely delete anything in front of us, even bosses. So as you can see right now on the left side of the screen, we have a times 20 buff of Worm's Hunger. Now we're going to go into the Lost Sector on Nessus and test this out against Carl. So let's see what we can do. We're gonna throw a throwing knife right here at the Scion, pick up that Solar Elemental Well. We are now Radiant and have a 50% damage buff, and yeah. So in this next clip, I go into Lake of Shadows to shoot Grask, the boss of this strike, and I grab a Solar Elemental Well, but I forget to go Radiant, so I missed out on an extra 25% damage, yet I still chunk this boss for 60% of his health in one shot. And then to follow up on that, to compare damage, I Blade Barrage him, and as we all know, Blade Barrage is pretty powerful this season, and it does about half the damage that Parasite did. Even if I connected all of the projectiles, it still wouldn't have added up. And if you caught that, right before I shot my initial Parasite shot, my Blueberry shot their Galahorn, and it absolutely tickled him. It did like a 40th of his HP. Then again, his impact probably got an immune number on Grask's shield, but the Wolfpack rounds did indeed connect, but we all know Galahorn will not add up either. Next up, we're going up against Kali, the first boss of the Last Wish raid, and the Last Wish bosses have weird damage modifiers that make it look like you're doing way less damage than you actually are. So these aren't the legitimate numbers that you would get in any other zone in the game, but we're just going to use Kali as a reference for damage comparison for what we're going to test here. So we got times 20 on our worm, we got all the necessary buffs, and we chunked her for 153,387. Next up, we are testing it against the Galahorn, and yes, I did also get Radiant, and I did get the Solar Elemental Well. We're giving the Galahorn all the necessary buffs to compare against the Parasite, and we ended up with a total of 54,373 damage. So basically, Parasite is like 3 galley rockets put together. But then again, the Galahorn also has some hidden damage that is not calculated from the extra Wolfpack rounds that usually don't show in damage numbers. So it's about 2.5 galley rockets is the power of a times 20 worm. And the final thing we're going to compare to is the Celestial Nighthawk with Golden Gun to get that high precision damage. And note that Kali, Shirochi, and Riven have a fake times 2 crit modifier. So it's going to look like you're doing 2 times the damage that you normally do, but it is all ghost damage. It does not exist. So what you have to do to get the legitimate number on these bosses is just divide the number by 2. So the Celestial Nighthawk overall ended up with 137,073 damage. So the Parasite is indeed stronger. So on to the wrap up. Parasite is shown as basically a second super. It's just a pocket super. Whip it out, blow your load, and just annihilate anything. And it's stronger than a Celestial Nighthawk Golden Gun. And the thing about that is that the Celestial Nighthawk Golden Gun, you actually have to take your time and aim. And I know me personally, I've missed a lot of those Celestial shots before and just ruined the super and killed it. But the Parasite, it's literally impossible to miss. This thing has like basically 200 blast radius. I know it says 100 on screen, but it's pretty much like 200. This thing's blast radius is massive. You can't miss unless you're going up against a boss that's flying. So that's gonna do it for the video, guys. Thank you for watching. If it helped or if you enjoyed, be sure to hit that like button and leave a comment. Those two actions really help the video's performance and the algorithm. And if you're new, consider subscribing. This is a brand new YouTube channel, about a month old, so I'd really appreciate it if you want to stick around. Feel free to leave your feedback and suggestions, and I will catch you in the next video. Peace out.